just woke up, so I'm a little groggy. I will be human soon. Okay. Well, and now it's raining. Good morning, Shaman. I hope you're alive, awake. Ooh, I built that into the side of that mountain last time. Good morning, Johnny. Well, I understand that. Um, because I changed back to the regular game and then had to shift back to the development build for this live stream, I had to build my vehicle bay again, and I've built it into the side of a rock. And the vehicle's crooked in the bay. Well, I can work around that. Now, let's go back to where in the world we were at the last time we were doing this. And I don't have the speed improvements on. Not that it matters, but about run over those poor frogs. Oh, let's back out of that. Even if I back in the lake is better than going through a grove of trees. Oh, I'm going the wrong direction. I'm still going the wrong direction. Whoops. Oh my head feels like it's in the slide of a rock. Well, I understand that. I'm sorry that you're having problems. If you feel the need to drop out, I totally understand. However, coffee might help because coffee fixes everything or something like that. Well, I guess. No worries. Just the morning grog. Well, I get that. Let me put that up on the screen, being as we're playing a new development branch. New bunker in the lush desert with lore. That's what I'm going out to look for. Change positions of 2 new golden crates, of which I haven't found those before they changed the positions. Fixed empty or inaccessible loot crates, and minor improvements here and there, of which they've been minorly improving this game since the start. Ah. Uh, you talking about not being a morning girl. I understand my lovely wife is not a morning person. And I will say, now she's a worker bee. When she'd get up in the morning and go to work, you know, she was up and at 'em. It took a couple of cups of coffee to get moving, and I'm very much a morning person. Once I'm up, I'm up. I mean, there's no going back to sleep for me at all. Okay. Well, oh, that's the first time I've seen the new animal. Why, heck, that's excellent. You can get genetic traits off of animals just by petting them. Neat game. Wasn't scared when I drove up. Mm. And you can't see diddle at night. I can even change the color of the beacon now. Well, that's excellent. I have to say that I'm pretty happy that nights in this game don't last very long. I mean, for as much as they have a bed, they have a couple of different beds in this game. You can't lay down in them. So for as much as the lights are out, you can't sleep. Alas, I am coffeeless. This is, pardon me for the pun, this is grounds for mutiny. Oh, and I found it. Well, fortunate to say, I don't need any of that stuff. Nice lore. I could use those. I could probably use that and that, but in this game, I've pretty much completed the game. I found some weird remains around here as if humans had already been living there. But this planet is so far from the habitable world, how could it be? The remains seem like ancient debris, but I can tell that one of the ones who made it were highly advanced. The tablets are unreadable. Almost everything has been erased by erosion and storms. I don't understand. Jeremiah 3047, and according to the game, when you land on the planet, it's 3058. Oh, considering I just used a bunch of those, I can do that. Oh, there's, looky here, boys. There's a bunch of the good stuff. Woohoo! Private scavenger assignment reconnaissance. An abnormal number of ships from various companies have disappeared in the Azatol Prime sector. Go there and find out what you can. Prime objectives: investigate the sector, discover why ships seem to vanish, find and report any presence of hostile life, identify any crashed ships, report them to their respective corporations. Record whereabouts of all merchandise found. Well, I don't know what we'll use that for. Okay, it's not letting you read the rocks. Hey, it'll let you deconstruct that tier 3 heater. I'm gonna leave. Well, that can stay there. It's not the worst thing in the world that's ever happened. Let's go back and get the car. It's hard super dark in this game either, and the helmet light. So that's nice. Yes. And I can honestly say the last time I played this on a development build, I did find empty crates. That they filled crates is decent. Shaman, I'm going to make you mad. I'm sitting here drinking coffee. Now, granted, it's decaf because my guts won't handle anything else at this point. But coffee, nonetheless. And it's funny, I said for years that decaf was just hot brown colored water, and well, it is. But when it came to the point that my gut started acting up drinking regular coffee, and I like drinking coffee. I tried switching to tea, and it's not that I don't like it. I'll still drink tea, but it just doesn't do for me. And the one good reason to have the car is you got all this storage. This is something I haven't. I wonder. Yeah, that's where I wanted to go. I wonder how this would all act in a multiplayer game. Buddy, these are ruins. Covered up by the sands of time. Parents went to decaf, but they made horrible coffee in general, so it was just as I have to admit, yes, I'm going to say this. I drink decaf pods that are great value from Walmart, and I've had such a problem with them breaking internally and depositing grounds in my cup that I've started, having to filter twice. And coffee filters are cheap. I'm not terribly worried, but and for as much as, before I started drinking decaf, I thought decaf was horrible, and now I'm, not as bad off as I once was, and let us be thankful for what we have because we could have less. And for as much as I like tea and such, it doesn't, it doesn't just don't hit the same spot for me that coffee does. I want to use scoop of coffee for an entire 10 cup pot. Oh my, that just sounds awful. My wife uses 3 for 8 cups, which is the lowest amount we can make. I make her 8 cups, and then I can usually get 2 more pods out of the water that's left. We have a Keurig that goes both ways. It'll either do a pot or pods. It doesn't matter. And the flexibility is nice. I'm not crazy about the pods I'm using, but it is what it is. And I gotta say, they hide gold chest in this game in some odd spots. But yeah, I mean, I'll drink a couple of cups every morning. My wife will drink one, go back to sleep, um, then get up and she'll microwave the coffee that's left in the pot. Oh, and that's her thing, ain't mine. Oh, back up there. Here we go. And you were talking about the relationship you had with your mom, and I can relate, it's on Mother's Day when you see other people going and getting cards, and oh my gosh, the cards are so sappy and nasty. It's like, you know, my mother and I have never ever had that kind of sappy relationship. She doesn't have a sweet bone in her body. I mean, she can be nice, but she can also be very manipulative. Eh, you know, I found the other side of the toxic cave. Excellent, just excellent. Don't particularly like the taste of coffee and doctor it so much that I don't mind the cheaper brands. Well, that's me. I like a little coffee with my cream. I admittedly can say that. Uh, and my wife sometimes goes, "How are we going through so much cream?" Just look at her and go, "It's my fault." You know, I know for a fact it's my fault because I do the morning shift of coffee and she loads the coffee pot at night. We have a good relationship that we complement one another. I still don't know what she's doing hanging around with my ass, but I'm going to be thankful. Uh, I dare to say what life would have turned out like without Randy. I wouldn't have a college degree and all kinds of things. Um, you meet a lot of people that have a background story to them that they won't tell you, and they're angling for something, and you kind of have to figure it out. And Randy's the first person I ever met that's not like that. Once I asked a Hallmark person if they had a selection of cards for moms who hate their children. She looked at me like, no, yeah, I get it. And, I wish I didn't get it. I had a much better relationship with my dad. Uh, you know, I followed in my dad's footsteps. If you see, and when I was younger, if you saw pictures of my dad at approximately the same age, we look a hell of a lot alike. I still look a lot like my dad. Um, I've got a picture of me at the 2019 Formula One race. And one of my cousins said, "You look so much like your dad there." And I didn't really see it until she said something about it. Yeah, my dad was a complicated dude. I mean, he had his moments. With Daddy, it took a lot to get him riled up. But if he looked at you, and he used to call his belt a hearing aid, if he looked at you and said, "I'll get that hearing aid down and we'll make you, we'll get you to listen to me." He was serious at that point, and you just didn't screw with him. I mean, Mom, she'd go from 0 to 100 almost instantly, and you know, uh, yeah, I just yeah, people who are best friends with their mom just uh, bleh. I didn't get it because I didn't have a frame of reference, and you didn't either. So two concurrent viewers. Did somebody sneak in while I wasn't paying attention? Doesn't look like it, but hmm. Well, if there's a viewer out there that's not popping up in the chat, thank you for being here. If you do, you do. If you don't, you don't. Let me see here. I'm going to turn this thing around and go into this side of the toxic cave. If I park this at the entrance, it has a beacon. I'll know how to get back out. All right, what am I doing here? Let me also demand a couple of things here. That and that, just because. I was Daddy's girl, so that made you're even more mad at me. Yeah, I get it. While my dad was still alive after I went in the military, my mom would say, "I know you want to talk to your dad." And I will give my mom credit. My dad was sick with COPD. I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy. It was hard, hard to watch your heroes, uh, go bad. I knew we shouldn't have changed our itinerary. There's reasons why some of the parts of it are unexplored. I can't see anything in this hole, and there's nothing to be found except rocks, and my leg hurts like hell. Well, funny, I can't say my leg hurts like hell, but by God, the hip does. Now, I do remember one time that I had a little bit of a problem with my dad. Um, I'm going to betray a family secret, and if any of my relatives listen to this, they're probably not going to be happy about me, but it is what it is. My brother was just a bum. Uh, I can't tell you how many times he went back to live with our parents after he turned 18, up until the time he died at age 55. And I never did. Once I left the house, I was gone. I stepped off my mother's porch on the 24th of May of 1984, and I looked her dead in the eye and told her, I will not be back. Yes, I went for a visit. That's different. Um, but I told her, I said, I won't be back here to live. Didn't particularly like Knoxville, Tennessee. I mean, it's home, but I, for one, won't move back there because my mother still lives there. But my my brother, to get back to a point, uh, was borrowing money from my parents and so on and so forth. And I mean, I did early in my marriage because we had a kid and that was their grandkid and blah, blah, blah. One Christmas for a Christmas gift got about $100 wiped out of a loan that I had uh, borrowed money from because I was just in a tight way. Before I went in the military, shoot, I didn't have two nickels to rub together. And one day, living in Alaska, got on the phone with my dad and he bitched at me about spending money and blah, blah, blah. I got on the phone with my mom and I said, can you do me a favor? She said, yeah. I said, tell Daddy that I haven't ever come back and lived with you and I don't borrow money from you unless I absolutely have to. And I haven't done it a lot, even then. He needs to get off of me because I'm not the problem. That square rock always looks like a case to me. And, I can honestly say that was the one time I, talked to my mom that I can remember. Oops, I have flown up and under. Where the hell am I at? Yes, that's what I wanted. All right, I know where I'm at with here, so the other one should be back over this way. You know, it was odd. It was like he was taking his angst for my brother out on me. And, I understood that to a certain extent after I sat and thought about it, but it wasn't, I wasn't the one that had anything to do with it. Must be destroyed with explosives. I just happen to have some. Oh my. Did you see that? I just deconstructed that explosive, and if I do this one, I'm in a bad spot. To find this early in the game would be heaven. So but I can honestly say I worship the ground my dad walked on. I went in the Air Force because of him. Um, you know, I followed in his footsteps. Same with my older brothers who drained my parents' savings until they had to leave retirement or at McDonald's to build up Social Security retirement points. Oh my Lord. Uh, well, right at the end, when was it? It was late 2014, August, September, October timeframe. I can't remember what exact month, but my brother was a carpenter and a reasonably good one. And he was up on my parents' house trying to see whether or not they needed a roof or he had roofed it or something. I can't remember the exact circumstances. I wasn't there. And he slipped and fell off of a ladder in the middle of their driveway, and they live on a pretty heavy hill, or did, or do. Mom still does. Um, and he fell and broke his leg. And I'm talking, it was not good, no matter how you slice it. And after that, they kind of felt a little guilty that he got hurt working on their house, so he milked them for some money at that point in time. And my dad asked me when he knew that he was fixing to die and that his COPD was getting worse, he said, try to keep your brother from spending all your mom's money. And I looked at him and I said, Dad, I don't live there. I'll do what I can, but there's not much I can do. It's, not something that I have the pulse of. Well, my mother can be, she's still very sharp-minded, and she does not deal with people trying to scam her well. And she didn't, she'd tell my brother to F right off, and it was, yeah, and I never went back to live with my mom. I mean, when I told my mother I was coming to Texas, she said, why don't you come here and live with me? I said, Mom, I can barely function on my own. Arthritis was starting to be a bad situation. I said, I can't do what I can't do. And, she eventually, took it all right. The worst part about it, I was 6 hours away in South Carolina, and I'm 15 hours away living here in Texas. And, I can honestly say if I had to get there in a day, I could. The last time I went, I flew and rented a car. It, it was a pretty good time, and my mom at that point even looked at me. Dress, hey, look who has snuck in. Knowing my dad was proud of me, even though it took around about half to my career. It was a grace to my heart when yeah, I understand that. Grace, it's good to see you in the chat. Thank you. I know that you're a busy guy. Um, and that's okay too. I appreciate that, Mr. Sneaker McSneakerson. Um, Now, largely, why am I sitting here live streaming? It's your fault. Uh, you're busy and lazy, aren't we all? I found when I retired and had all the time in the world that there are times that I just look at things and go, today's not that day. Is that so bad? That's probably been the best blessing about not working. I was always very hard driven to go and beat myself up to my martyrdom to get things done and to do what needed to be done, and it was not good for my health, and it still isn't. I still have problems with relaxing, which is why arthritis absolutely blisters me like it does. All right. Darius, have you seen any of the development bills? I mean, I know that you're aware of them, but have you seen any of them? Is there anything that you would like to see in the short time that you're going to be here? I'll be more than happy to show it to you. Oh, same. I was go, go, go when I was working. I think that's my bone disease. Yeah, and buddy, I'll be perfectly honest with you. That having your hips hurt is no picnic. You know, mine started hurting while I was in the military still, and if I'd have went to the hospital and got it documented and said, "Hey, my hips are hurting," well, I did. Okay, I understand that about experiencing it firsthand because, um, yeah, it's better that way. Um, but while I've got you here, and I know you can appreciate it, you're you're fixing to learn some stuff. That panel right there that says "Open Vehicle," that's where you stick all the chips that go to the vehicle. Yeah, I understand about that weight and inactivity, um, but probably your best two chips are the equipment increase, which when you start the vehicle, you only have two slots here. And when you put the equipment increase in, you have five. And then the inventory increase will put more boxes on top of this box on the back of the vehicle. And this grab button, if you press it, it will put it in your inventory and let you rebuild it someplace. But you can't have anything in that box when you do it. And if you get the logistics chip, beacon, lights, logistics, that one will let you take and have drones empty this inventory on the vehicle to go back to the base. And there is amp revamp. Do they stack? No, no. There are other chips like this equipment increase. That's a tier 1. There's a tier 2 that you can get that give you more slots because there's yeah, portable hull, in portable hull go boom. Yeah. Well, Amp, I'm happy you're here too. And I'm a little surprised both of you are up so early, but I know why you're up so early, so, you know. Hey, the whole gang's here. All right. Let's go back to the house. And this, whoop, is somebody who can't drive. This is the new biome that's by the Stargate. And there's supposedly 2 more gold chests. And there's a little bit of lore because there's another habitat here. The one thing for the vehicle that I don't have equipped because I don't have the room is the vehicle's speed increase. It'll increase it by 100 times. I want to say there's 3 of them. There is a new animal, and they really don't seem to mind you much, and you can pet them. I just tagged everyone in Discord and linked to your live. Oh, thank you. You didn't have to do that. Um, I'm so old and slow, if a lot of people arrived, it would be, you know, I'd have a hard time keeping up. He literally tries to push me out of bed. It's kind of funny when he tries. Um, that's okay. We could entertain them. That's when you just ignore them. Well, I figure somebody has spent the time to come. I would feel almost obligated to try to do something. Nope, just mine. Didn't want to take liberties. Ah, thank you, Amp. You're far too kind to me. And I'm going to tell you, like I told your male counterpart there, that if there's anybody to blame for me live streaming, it's you two. Because I really didn't think much about it. And like I've said, I miss the technical side of IT. I miss having something to do with your brains. And getting into this was kind of, it bordered on being technical, and it's not all that hard. And, I've lost a step um, or two. I'm mentally not as sharp as I once was. Um, so this has been good for me. Whoa, whoa, you don't want to go that way. You want to go this way, you idiot. Now, I will say, if you've watched any of the earlier development build videos I've done, uh, that vehicle doesn't have speed chip because it didn't have room for it. Yeah, it's going kind of slow. And the speed chip is almost faster than you want it to be. So for me, there ain't nothing there worth picking up. Oh, I need to be a hydrating. And why don't I just drop this stuff off and keep the important bits like food and water? That's that. You seem pretty pointy to me. Our first child, I'm glad we're responsible for your creation. I would have named you Fred, though. Oh, well. Uh, it's odd being named Johnny. I'll never go by John because I was named after my grandfather, my mom's dad. He was John. Um, Now I've got to get back or yeah, my bearings. And he was dead before I was ever thought about, but um, my dad always told me that John Muncie would have made a super good, oh, I'm going the wrong way, super good president. That he was a veteran of the Spanish-American War and was a fine, upstanding guy. I saw a drone trying to catch up with you. Yep, there they go. Um, so I've never been John. I've always been, oh, I'm going the wrong dang way. Snickle Fritz. And yes, Frederick Rodriguez. You guys ain't right. You guys ain't right. I don't know what I'm going to do with y'all. Oh, okay, hold on here for just a cotton picking minute. If there is, there is. Let me take all of that. Let me take that. There's a big rock there. Yes, there was. But you saw, I'm not there anymore. So, yeah, there's a dang big rock there. I don't know what you're talking about. And here comes the best thing that ever happened out of this. Drop it. There you go. And you're back. The last two times I've built this thing, I've put a chest there, and then, uh, oh Lord, not merch that says mass and chill. No, 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 no. There'll never be merch come off of this channel. I'm not that serious. Um, maybe I lack the imagination, but Bella wanted another sibling. Oh my. Don't name the poor child after me, 'cause you're in bad shape. Hey, you can talk. Yes, I am. And there's 4 people in chat. Woohoo! Or 3 people in chat. Yeah. I wonder if he'd like to babysit. See, now you guys are just trolling me. That's just wrong. It'd only work if he sits on this child, he would need to. You can count me twice. Well, uh, Darius, I'm old, and you're not far behind me. But fine, I'll make it myself by hand. I appreciate you. Uh, no, all right, I'm here. Do your tricks, boy. I'm watching. Oh, Deanna. Oh my. See, there really is 4 people watching. Prophetic. Aha. I'm going to try something I haven't ever tried before. For one, I'm going to go dump everything in the dump chest because I can. And as you can see, I haven't made anything for the genetic stuff to go to yet. Let's Yeah, the whole gang's here. Do you believe it? I even got AMP advertising for me, which is a bit scary, but now I'm going to be all nervous and stuff. And being nervous is probably what I do best. And not that any of the rest of you care. This is a finished base. I've already been through all 3 um, endings, you know. Um, but what I'm going to try to do is grab yon vehicle, fly through this portal that's open, and I don't know where it's going or what it's doing, and see if I can make it. Yeah. Well, I hope I'm doing fine, you know. For as much as I'm having a lot of fun, and like I said, you can blame Grass and Amp. It's their fault that I'm doing this because it just looked like it would be a fun thing to do. Okay. Hey, look. Woohoo! And as I've been prone to say, I usually play the development builds before I started playing live stream with all you all. No need for nerves. We're all family. We'll only tease you when you're funny. Don't know what you're talking about. And if we'd have been in person, I'd have probably stuck my finger up my nose and said that. If you change your name to the Daily Massengill, you could offer fresh content daily. It's named the Daily Act because I was a fan of the Bloom County cartoon series, which is no more and ended somewhere about 1985 or 86. I was in Alaska when it ended. That's the only reason why I know. And you know, naming it the Daily Massengill, I'd have some form of pervert thinking it was code for something else and come in my chat and do crazy things. Oh, All you guys are already here. Yeah, fresh content daily. All right. See, you guys keep me going. You just don't know it. Uh, you hold a purpose in my life like Taz. Um, Shaman, if you go on Facebook, Bloom County now has Berkeley Breathed is doing Bloom County again, but he's publishing it online. He's got an Instagram account, and he has had new content, which kind of makes me concerned that he might come and tell me that I'm nicking his copyright stuff. But I even wrote notes in Facebook and called them the Daily Act for years, from oh good grief, 2009 until 2015 when my dad passed on. And yeah, Amp raises hand. Pervert one, president accounted for. You quit talking about Deanna like that. That's not nice. Yeah, if you really want your Bloom County fixed, it can be found. Now, I'm going to say military things because I spent lots of my formative years from 84 to 2000 in the military. And this is basically an engine test stand like they used to run aircraft engines on. It's remarkably uh, well built as a model. And although that wasn't my job, I knew people that did it, and I worked with them, and they were really good people to be around. Um, yeah, he knows you well. Oh, Darlene, good morning. Oh my gosh, I don't know what I'm going to do. I've got too many people in chat. Oh my. Alas, I don't do social media except YouTube and two shows on TikTok. And Shaman, I understand that. I don't do TikTok. Um, I have enough concerns about it that oh, come on. I don't have a fusion cell on me. If I find the fusion reactor. Excuse me. I have to admit, John Hemingway tickled me the other day when he was singing Dexy's Midnight Runners with Darlene's name in it. Too funny. That man is an absolute hoot. I get the feeling that, nope, that might actually be something. Do I have any explosives? No, I don't. So the vehicle available is for us ordinary folks, like we can get it in our community stream. Not right at the moment. It's still in the development branch. Everybody would have to be on version 1.210, which is what it's at now. We'd have to all play the development branch to get it. Typically, when they put stuff out like this, usually it's they want you to test it and write in for any bugs and everything. And about 2 weeks, they usually put it up on the main branch and it's a done deal. And the version number doesn't change or anything. You know, I just got through posting a recording that I did, or 3 recordings that I did of the early development branch stuff. Uh, that it was really borked up the first couple of times I got in here and drove it. It wouldn't roll over a rock. If you hit a mineral, it would flip the vehicle. They've made it a whole bunch better. It's um, darn near, perfect. Speaking of explosives, fiddle faddle. Yeah, well, only one person will fit in the vehicle, and I would wonder how the game would deal with it if you were in multiplayer. I don't know, and I don't know that they know. They haven't said anything about it. Um, and I realize that I'm one trick pony. I play this game a lot because it deals with my physical limitations well. You know, I'm a boring old man. What can I say? So, um, you know, my content is kind of limited. I do like Sapiens, and I'm going to go back to my solo stream of that. They would have to build us a shuttle bus for the community streams. Yes, they would. However, more properly, considering it is the Gutter Gang, they would have to build us a short bus. Yes, yes, I said it. Minivan, yeah. One of those old Chrysler minivans that are now about 30 years old and broke down. Come on, you all get in here. We're going to the procedural wrecks. Sinking is always a major issue, adding multiple people to a moving vehicle or other objects. Wheels on the bus go round and round. Yeah, well, I think we're all a little warped. I mean, I don't know, but now, buddy, that was perfect. Oh, don't. Hold it. I'm fixing to take you back through the. I think it's neat that you can pick it up and take it with you, the vehicle. Um, you know, during the first versions of this, they actually made it to where you could fill it full of inventory, shrink it, take it with you, rebuild it, and all your inventory would be there. And somebody pointed out, no, 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 you don't want to do that. And they were right. I'm going to leave you right there. I feel like I'm missing something. I got that. I got that. I've got that speed increase one already. I built it and then didn't use it. Ah. Just to show Dreas what this does. I don't care if I've got lights. I do care if I got speed. Is that a moon rover in your pocket, or are you just happy to see me? True amp revamp, but paint it like it's a 60s hippie van. VW hippie van. And yes, I've had them. I had 2 different VWs in my lifetime. Yeah, it moves a lot better once you put the speed increase on it, but So I'm not doing my Lumberjack Dynasty today, going to check out a new adventure, Wild West Dynasty. And I just saw that today and wondered whether it would be any good. So you're feeding my... Whoa. And yet having 2,000 pounds in your backpack doesn't affect the height of your jetpack. That's true. Well, we will never find out. And the last time I played this game for 1.209, I made this, but I made it a little farther that way and didn't build it into the side of a rock. So when I built the vehicle, it put the vehicle down crooked, but I was a little surprised that it let me build into that rock like it did. Other things that some of you have seen and some of you haven't that are included in the new stuff is a foundation slope or a foundation angle. Let me go find some iron. Oh, country lady, good morning. Hello there. Y'all don't forget to like and subscribe. Amp, I didn't. You're far too kind to me. This old man appreciates it. But I thought those were pretty stylish that it would let you click in. But then after I did that, come on, everybody above ground. Come on. Oh, that didn't click like I wanted. And I know that you all know that I am good at deconstructing things that I'm trying to use. So I was trying not to do that. Come on. Out here, back here. There we go. And I'm sorry, I just think that's neat. I mean, what can I say? I'm easy to please. Good grief, it keeps going like this. I'm going to have to find a moderator. Have to put up a ad and everything. Moderator needed. Boring old chat. You know. Super busy with work and life. Yes, I understand. Well, country lady, we're glad you're here. And I hope this is the most people I've ever had on a connection. I hope my connection's good because I really do have a pretty crappy connection back to the rest of the world, to the point that I'm considering going to Spectrum and going, hey, can we raise this up a little bit? Because the IT guy in me wants to do a little better. That is the one thing I miss about being in enterprise IT. We usually had a good hot connection, and at my last, when I worked for the state of South Carolina, I pretty much controlled that red hot connection, and to that, and oh, good grief, 37 different offices all across the state. And when I tell you, I've been to every place in South Carolina you could possibly have been to, I'm not exaggerating. I really have. Um, and I got to admit, it's a beautiful place, and I miss some things about it, but I don't miss the weather. Well, you're streaming to YouTube. It's pushing it to us. Yeah. Did see you mention you haven't finished Planet Crafter yet. Well, okay, I missed that. How long have I been going here? Hour and 5. And I know I'll probably be losing at least Amp because she's getting ready for her 10 o'clock stream, which is why I stream at 8 o'clock so I don't, get in there and mess with her stuff. Oh, let's go look at the oddities of this build. I left that there so I could get water, which is just very strange. And when I built it in 2 sections, and that's why there's this odd thing here. And this is all this stuff that, I stuffed it in its own building and away it went. But then I have another building for fabric, and I really got on the fabric in this game. I sell a lot of it. And that's bioplastic nuggets, circuit boards, pulsar quartz, and solar quartz. Yep, I need to put my thumbnails and notifications, so I'm going to pop out. I hope everyone comes and joins me. I'll be there for at least a little bit. Yeah, my friends were suggesting I move to Charleston where they live, but I don't think I could do the humidity. You couldn't. It's 80 to 90% humidity all the time. Darlene Miller, I haven't been in Cowpens, but I remember the name right at this moment. I've been gone for 5 years from South Carolina, and I don't remember geographically where that's at. Hate to say. Um, but as far as, most of the major areas, uh, upstate, I once went upstate so far into a little office into a county that bordered North Carolina. I was closer to North Carolina than I was to almost any place in South Carolina. That was about a 3.5 hour trip from Columbia. And I worked in Columbia and lived in a little place called Hopkins. We moved into a subdivision, and Hopkins is just right outside of Columbia. Moved into a subdivision and bought a model home because the guy wasn't developing in that subdivision anymore, so he was selling the whole thing. And because we lived in a model home, Amp, thank you very much. It was wonderful to have you here, and I appreciate your help more than you know. But we had a model home, and because it was the model home for this builder, it had all the bells and whistles. It had a shower, a bath, all the good stuff. The house in Texas isn't as nice, and I do miss the house we lived in, but um, I couldn't go back. The humidity is, and you get used to it, and you don't realize it, and then you come here, and it's only humid here part of the time. Ah, yep. Lived there for a year. Oh my. Um, but I got here, and humidity here, if it gets up to 80%, people here are just absolutely dying. And I was working in a hospital when I first got here putting in computers, and I had people going, oh my God, it's just so humid. And I just look at them and go, I just left someplace that it's 80% or above all the time. If it got to 60% humidity in South Carolina, good grief, we thought it was fall. Um, it was different. Now I've lived here long enough. The little bit of humidity they have here is starting to affect me. I can feel it when I walk and things like that. All right, what to do, what to do, what to do. I got about 20 minutes to burn. Mm. Let's go in another wreck. Why? Because I can. Mississippi humidity is brutal. Yes, country lady. And I find when we go from Texas, crossing the Mississippi River, don't know what there is about it. Even crossing into Louisiana is, I can feel the humidity go up the closer we get. But crossing the Mississippi River is like, man, I can feel it immediately. It's not good. Two greens, three pinks, and a light blue. Oh, I've got a key on me. Yeah, living on the East Coast is, I lived there all my life except what little time I've spent traveling the country when my dad was in the military, or, what little time I've spent someplace else. Um, 3 years in Alaska. I was actually born in Missouri, but all of my family is from East Tennessee, both sides of it. Um, and you know what I could do? I could make this so much easier on myself. I could go back and get flares so I could actually see what in the world I'm doing. Yeah, we get maybe 10 to 12 days of humidity here. I'm spoiled California girl, dry heat. I can do. Spent summers in Albuquerque. Albuquerque's a beautiful place. Flare, flare, flare. Ooh, frame rate's down to 30%. Wow, that was not good. I have friends in Alamogordo and that I was in the military with and have been to White Sands Missile Range. Beautiful place. Uh, you can actually sled down White Sands during the summer. I have pictures of me in overalls sledding down the White Sands part. Close enough. Where am I going from here? Hmm. I do wish they'd let you deconstruct some of this crap that's sitting in the hallway because it makes it just that much tougher to get around. By the way, I'm very glad all of you all are here. Thank you very much. I am greatly humbled. Um, when I started this as a fluke of just said, might as well go and do it. It's cheap. I've got all the stuff to do it. I never imagined, anybody gandering in on the crazy things that I do and the few games that I am able to play. So I'm well surprised that all of you are here. Um, text message. And I appreciate it more than you know. Um, really very kind to you folks that you probably all got something better you could be doing. Okay. There ain't nothing back here. If you build it, we will come. That quickly? Oh, pardon me. And that is why I'm a member of the gutter gang, because I can gutter with the best of them. That's why you pick keys up even when you don't need them. Woohoo! That pretty much paid me back for the pulsar quartz. Listening and glancing over. Okay, I understand that. No Man's Sky is one of my son-in-law's favorite games, and I gotta admit, it just doesn't ring my bell. But I will admit, it takes a moment for me to be. I just have to sit back and look at things in my own pace, which is kind of slow. Sometimes I, keep everybody at arm's length pretty much until I get comfortable in my own moment, and some people don't know how to deal with that. Grace, I appreciate you being here and glancing over, because. What are we? Why was that telling me to deconstruct debris? That tells me there was something down through here that went through the wall. Now, for as much as I like this game and it deals with my physical issues well, I will say the devs are very good about when somebody brings something up that they'll look into it, and they'll at least acknowledge that you've said something. They do have a good moderator team on their Discord, and I'm impressed for this to be their first game, and they're 6 people. I think they've done pretty good. I think graphically this game is Spartanburg. Okay, Spartanburg, Greenville, Spartanburg. I've been around quite a little bit. While I was working for the state of South Carolina, we rolled out voice over IP phones all over the state for the offices in the department I worked for. And other people were doing it too. I knew that. And I think that one of the strangest places I went was in and around Greer. That place was so tiny. It was, whew, I thought I was lost. I was closer than I thought. Wow, this is your first game? Yeah, that's a very nice looking game. Still want them to add indoor steps and stair modules. Yes, absolutely. That's the one thing about it. And that makes me think of something. I wonder, and all the iron is gone from there because it's all been taken, if I could put indoor ramps now that there are ramps, because I do have some games that have a second story on them. No, will not let you. The thing I wish they'd add to this game is a little bit more consistency, and I'll show you exactly what I mean. And Shaman knows, she's already heard me gripe. There's this one place down here that you can go through the wall right here, and it'll let you deconstruct that rock. That is the only place in the whole game that you can deconstruct that rock like that. And there's some wrecks that have walls that you can deconstruct that have crates behind them, but you can't do it in any other wreck. You know, a consistency thing, I can deal with it. It doesn't bother me as far as gameplay is concerned, but it definitely, uh, just little things that I notice. And this is an amazing game. I like it that there's nothing trying to kill you, and that's precisely why I play it. I have uh, coordination problems in my left hand, and I, um, if I'm in a game that you have to fight something, there's something, somebody shooting or attacking or something, me, and while I'm trying to figure out what my hands are on the keyboard, and just can't do it. I grew up, I'm 61. I grew up when Wolfenstein 3D came out and Doom and Quake. I've still got the original CDs for both Doom and Quake of the shareware versions of those games. Could reach out here in 5 minutes and lay my hand on them. You know, those are the kind of things that I really liked, even though I can't play them anymore. The just, you know, yeah, absolutely, dress, and that's a plus for me too. Yeah, I'm not into blood and gore, but that's why I don't play 7 Days to Die, because while I'd be sitting there waiting to get, you know, myself adjusted, something would kill me, and that would be the end of it. I would love to play. I like the building in Subsistence. I really do. Their building mechanic, that and the Infected, I like them both. Uh, but I can only play limited amounts of them. The most successful game I've had in Subsistence, uh, I took one of Game Edge's saves when he had a competition, and I saved that game and then found a platform someplace, and there were 5 or 6 buildings in that save that they were loaded up with all kinds of stuff. I built myself a building, I put up a BCU, and I went and broke into their buildings. Other than that, if I try to start a Subsistence game right off the bat solo by myself, I get the absolute crap kicked out of me. I uh, just can't make it, work for me because my left hand is just a bit too slow. Oh, well, that didn't go well. Now, am I even going to be able to get out of here? Nope. Thank the Lord it's four-wheel drive. Up, stuck again. I was going to try to go back into the back side of the maze, but I think I'll leave that alone. We're coming up on an hour and a half anyway, and that's about how long that I go. Yeah, I could never make myself get into Subsistence, and I get that, and I realize that it's been played to death. Mitz, Sully, Game Edge, Ono, a bunch of people have played that game, to death. And I mean, they've been with it the whole time. It's still in early access, even though it's on Alpha, I think 63. Uh, well, this game is somewhat grindy right at the start, and if you put this on hardcore, whew, holy moly. Um, and I can show you, I have one intense game that I sometimes stream off of because I tried hardcore, and hardcore absolutely kicked me like I was nothing. This is almost as bad as hardcore, but it's if you die, you lose your stuff. In hardcore, if you die, you're done. You can't get your world back or anything. And I just didn't need the permanence of that. Um, I want to do subsistence just because of the building. I'll deal with the other aspects. Minimize the parts I don't like. And I understand that. That's what I like about subsistence. That building mechanic is just really good. This one is a little bit, limited in some of the things that you can do. Um, this one really gets fun after you get past the. There's two sides to this game. During the initial playthrough, yes, it's pretty grindy, and then you get up to about halfway and you start getting drones and you start getting water filters, and it lessens all the grind, and you're going to rebuild your base halfway through this. Um, when I started out this base, it was a fourplex sitting up here on the hill where all these drills are. Uh, and then you grind and grind and grind, and it got so compact that I just said, I've got to build a new base. And then you turn around and build this. And this is um, two by twos. And if you buy the three by threes, they're even better. They have less columns in them. Just a much, there's a definite difference in this game from the time that, you get on it. There's an early game mechanic, and then you change it about halfway through, and then there's a late game mechanic. All right, I'm getting ready to wrap this thing up, but to wrap it up, I'm going to go over here and do one of the endings. Let's see. I'm a twisted person. I love the grind. The grindier, the better. You are twisted. Yep. I've never cared for hardcore. First time I lost everything because of a glitch or a technical failure, that would end it for me. Yeah, absolutely. Hardcore was, I was watching a guy, TechRat Gaming, and he goes by SciTech. I watched him do hardcore, and I've watched him do hardcore twice. That guy's brilliant, but he is just one of those things that um, it's just wow. I couldn't believe it. The guy grind through the whole game, and he did a beta before they ever had an ending to the game, and then he did one after the beta. If you really want to see somebody do hardcore good, SciTech will do it for you. His voice is a little bit my my voice is nothing to jump up and down about. I'm a gravelly old man, but okay, I'm going to do an ending to end this thing. What ending do you guys want to see? It's either the Sentinel Corp, which is, who put you on the planet in the first place, um, the Warden's ending, which, uh, you know, you saw when we did multiplayer one day in the Saturday community streams, or the Smugglers, of which you have to have 500,000 Terra tokens, and I just happen to have 637,000 Terra tokens, and solar quartz sitting in this container. Which ending you guys want to see? I'll let you folks decide. We got to vote for Smugglers. I think everybody's went to sleep. The good thing about this game, Smugglers is good for you. That's two. The good thing about this game that once you finish and you go through an ending, it'll let you come right back, go back into your game, and keep right on playing. Because I finished this one a while ago. Well, that's three for Smugglers. Okie doke. And if I had any sense, I could put a pole up, but why work that hard? And I have run out of coffee. I'm unhappy about that. That's cool. Okay, smugglers it is, folks. Community came up to 470K credits. Woohoo! Good deal. Leave the planet. Place your fate in the hands of the smugglers. Okie doke. And here we go. Yeah, Shaman, the smugglers want a bit of cash to go along with you. My friend, I hope we can meet again one day. Despite everything you have been through, your future is still uncertain. You will now be considered an outlaw, so you will need to be careful and keep a low profile. But knowing you, I'm sure you'll get through this. Good luck, Riley. And you got to admit, because of Riley, that you had Terra tokens, that you had the trading rockets, poor fella all alone in that little shuttle just gave all his money away. Yeah. You are now Han Solo. At least they didn't take your cash and jet you out of the airlock. Yeah, well, that's true. They didn't turn me into a piece of carbonite or whatever that is. All right. I truly appreciate all of you being here and looking in. I know you guys have busy lives and, um, 8 a.m. is early for most of you, but I appreciate it more than you know. Yeah, meat popsicle, ain't that the truth? I appreciate you guys being here. I am going to show one thing before I leave. All right, where's my mouse? The mouse. I gotta have the mouse. Darlene, see you later. Thank you very much. Up, my mouse has went and done stupid. Are you not on anymore? Yes, you are. Well, I can't end the stream if I can't find my mouse. Okay. Mouse, mouse, who's got the mouse? Yeah, stupid mouse. No doubt. Yeah, grew feet and ran away. Well, no, I got it right here in front of me. It's just not working. I think I'm going to have to unplug it and replug it. Well, all right then. Thank you guys for the help. Oh, there it is. Woohoo! All right, we're gone. See ya. Bye bye.